So the other day, I spent about 2 hours trying to find what the UW PD's budget looks like. And eventually, I was told by a friend that you actually have to request, even though the record is public, you actually have to request it. You have to pay for it, and then you have to wait a week to get it. And so why isn't that just on their website?
I think that we've seen from the repeated murder of Black individuals all across the country that police presence on campus poses a very real threat and risk to the Black students, the Black faculty, and the Black staff on campus. I think we know the facts, we know what we need to do. We need to see action, we need to see real steps being taken in the right direction, because this is a matter of students' lives. This is a matter of safety.
Just saying that if student funds matter, then student voices should matter, and Black students matter. We bring in $141 each student a quarter. And so for me, it's really concerning when I see that the recreation's budget is funded $2.5 million. It's the second largest unit funded. And it's one of the main ways that we have a relationship with Seattle PD is through having some of these outsourcing contracts with them for special event securities.
We formed a Students of Color affinity group, and we have been meeting on a regular basis just to get together to talk about these incidents that are so common and to provide some normalcy that it's not just us. It's not just isolated incidents, but there is a systemic issue with the way people of color are treated on this campus.
When I woke up this morning, Seattle Public Schools has stopped allowing resource officers in schools for 1 year and told SPD to cease and desist using public schools as a site for police violence. Overnight, you can do the same. So first, UWPD could stop handing people over to SPD custody or taking them directly to King County Jail. Second, stop using SPD to respond to public safety needs, particularly referrals for welfare checks under the Safe Campus program. Third, stop using Seattle Police Department for additional event security, as we saw at various events. And so here, I think, is a point of clarification. If UWPD and if UW does not use Seattle Police Department for any event security, great. Make that statement as a public commitment to ensure transparency and safety so that people can come to football games without being afraid of being sent to King County Jail. Fourth, disarm UWPD. They became an armed police force in the context of peace protesters against the Vietnam conflict and civil rights organizers in the 1970s, according to UWPD's own website. Fifth, ban the use of police dogs, which students of color understand as historical tools of fear. Sixth, commit publicly to not hiring police officers with disciplinary records for misconduct. I just also want to emphasize that, what we are talking about is not specific financial ties or MOUs, but we are talking about the cooperation of this campus and this Office of Student Life with police officers with guns that are making our students scared and that make us all concerned for their safety. So we're here to ask you for public commitments on these demands that now we have thousands and thousands and thousands of folks from our community. We are asking you to act, and it is your opportunity to do so.
I am George Floyd. I have been held at gunpoint on the ground for a half hour with my hands handcuffed behind my back like I was an animal. So we don't arrest people on behalf of SPD and turn them over to SPD. We do not use SPD inside our facilities, such as the basketball games or the football games. Although SPD is there outside because they do traffic control on SPD streets, so people will see SPD as they walk in. But once they're inside the stadium, they will not see SPD. And we have an opportunity also to completely redefine how policing happens. And I want to make sure that we do that in a way that is responsive to the community and meets our needs. And I am here to commit that we will do that with you. And the concerns you have raised, I just feel like there are lots of things there that we can learn from, grow from, and become a better department because of it.
We do have one MOU, and here I'm talking about the Seattle campus. We do have one MOU with the police department, and it's one that allows UWPD to take the lead in policing north of 45th, which is an area where many of our students live. There are apparently 4 kinds of police dogs. And the police dogs that I think most people think of are police dogs that are used to chase individuals. And we only at this point in time have one kind of police dog, and it's a bomb sniffing police dog.
I also want to say, with respect to Denzil Suite, I am my heart goes out to all the Black folks who are asked to oversee broken systems that hurt their communities. And I understand that you have this experience, and I am asking that that experience be brought to bear on how we think about what security for all might look like. I'm sorry that you have taken that role, and I want everyone here to know that when a Black person is put in front of an institution that is meant to break people, to intimidate, to protect property over people, then we should be very afraid, and we still have to hold them accountable. There are resolutions from all of the governments, undergraduate, graduate, and faculty, that have not been listened to over the last decade. So we're at a very new moment. So I'm hoping that you might be willing to rise to this occasion with us and talk about action steps, and not excuses and sad diversions from what we all know. It really breaks my heart to watch, especially at this moment.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Rachel. I couldn't agree with you more about, are there places where the police is doing work that perhaps should be done by someone else rather than the police?
We have every study in the country, including studies by UW, that show that armed police produce stress for Black students and Black staff and any other Black person who comes near them, and that those stress markers produce higher rates of morbidity and mortality.
I've been Black in America for about 20 years now. What needs to happen right now, that all of these wonderful people are laying out for you, is that here's some things that can be done right now to make your students feel safe.
And it's concerning to me because when we do have other groups on campus, like the UW Republicans, their requests get heard. Their requests get heard, and they're able to hold events on our campus. They're able to do things on our campus that are very atrocious. And yet when we're asking for the bare minimum to divest from relationships that we have very clearly with our own eyes seen on our campus, we're being gaslit. Personally, as a student, I'm feeling a lot of patronizing right now, in that we're very explicitly saying what we know about what is going on at our university campus and being told that's not happening. As someone who has been in meetings with you, President Anamari, for this past week, whenever we do get to this place, we keep on being told there's going to be another meeting. Every time there's another meeting, nothing happens.
But I also want to say that I have heard lots and lots of students talk about really negative experiences that they've had with faculty in particular. I have not heard any student talk about negative experiences in the last 2 years with UWPD.
At the last meeting, what you just said clearly shows me that you didn't listen, because you had Priscilla, a freshman, an 18-year-old, give you a personal testimony of her and her friends' experience with UW-PD in the dorms. I gave you a statement by one of my Black professors about his experience with UW-PD. So when you're saying it's fear, I'm not really sure what you're talking about, because we discussed this at the last meeting. We gave you testimonials. Mariama gave you a testimonial. So it's not fear. We gave you the clear, concrete anecdotes.
If we totally disarmed UWPD, then it would be up to SPD. I mean, you know, I talked about active shooters, but it's not just active shooters. We have all been watching on TV, you know, white right-wing supremacists that are armed to the teeth.
They're called police officers.
And I would like to amplify the students if I can hold space for them. Are you going on record here saying there's nothing else that you can do around supporting the needs of students at this moment? Is there nothing else that you can do? Because they've been really clear about what they need. Is there nothing better that we can do for our students? You can wait for them to graduate and wait till another group of students comes back with the same angry experience and tiredness. And that is what we do. We wait for you all to graduate. Is there nothing you can do better for these students watching you for leadership? We should be world leaders on this, not doing the bare minimum.
President Cauce, I would really like to also hear a commitment, I hope others do too, here, that no one who is speaking out here, faculty, staff, or students, will experience any retaliation from the university administration or police for speaking out here. This is a very fraught time, and this is a recording, and I'm very concerned about what police might do once they see what the kind of outspoken opinions here. So I hope that you commit to protect us,
Absolutely.
to protect the university. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This has been a very, very somewhat productive conversation. I feel like a lot has been said here. A lot of ideas have maybe been heard but not listened to. So the biggest thing I want my experience to boil down to is two things. One, I'm scared, right? That is my experience as a Black American, as a Black student. I'm scared. And two, I'm also prepared, right? I'm prepared for what has already happened and is influencing me right now. And I'm prepared to change everything to make not only myself, but the other Black students, brown students feel safe on this campus. Again, with or without you, I hope that you will join us for that. However, just know that this isn't stopping. We are ready, and I'm not going to lay down.
And I do need some time. I'm sorry if it seems like it's too much or it's excessive, but I do need some time.
I would like to emphasize that BSU will mimic every single one of these demands that were mentioned in this meeting. I do hope to meet more actionable items towards the end of the meeting, President. So if you are able to prepare yourself for that, for the 4 o'clock meeting today, I look forward to seeing that. I want to see action being taken by the end of the meeting, not just few sentiments that appease us for the moment. I want to make sure that we are holding each other accountable and we are coming through with action items.